When I think back to being 15 years old, there are three things that stand out most in my mind, and they are watching the WWF, the Nintendo 64, and playing a crazy amount of basketball. For a sport which has little popularity here compared to other places in the world, it may come as a surprise to many that my sport of choice was basketball, and in fact I was pretty good. Well, that was until being banned from playing, which is an entirely different off-topic tale. But this review is already going way off track, and so to bring things back on topic, we have NBA Courtside, which was released 2 years after the console launched, and it marked the beginning of Nintendo's sports division. Developed by Left Field Productions, it certainly wasn't the first basketball game on the console, but for many this was by far the best, and a last-minute endorsement deal from Kobe Bryant eventually led the game's official title to be changed to Kobe Bryant in NBA Courtside. Unlike FIFA, for example, the NBA will happily license itself to anyone who asks, and so the game features all 29 NBA teams with up-to-date rosters of the time, as well as the usual host of stats that American sports enthusiasts seem to adore. The only two players missing from the game are naturally Michael Jordan, who had his own licensing arrangements in place, so was always omitted from games of this time, and secondly Latrell Sprewell, who was serving the last 68 games of his ban for choking out his head coach. Now, the first time I played the game, it was when my brother's friend brought it over, and as we're always huge fans of basketball, we had quite a long binge session playing 4-player matches. The first thing that grabbed my attention was just how good the game looked. The players' faces have all been texture mapped on, and there was no slowdown even when pulling off intricate moves or all of us mashing buttons at the same time. The animation of the players was also top notch, and as with most sports games there is a little stiffness that you'd expect, but compared to anything else of the time it was very impressive. Now, I didn't know this at the time, but the game actually runs in a medium resolution mode of 512 by 240, which offers a slight bump from what you'd expect the N64 to be pushing out at that time, but it really does stand out. The controls, however, are what made this game just so addicting. The analog stick gives you a real fluid feel to the gameplay, and in next to no time you'll be moving end to end and pulling off some impressive tricks and skills. This is all thanks to the game's fantastic combo system, which allows you to link skills together seamlessly, and calling for an alley-oop to really piss your opponent off is only a button away. Now, the gameplay is not entirely perfect. The frame rate is solid, but the game does lack a sense of speed, which you usually feel when playing a basketball game. While games like NBA Jam took things to an insane but fun level, NBA Courtside seems to plod along at times, and you'll soon realise the game is mostly about your skills and ability rather than being able to quickly press your way up the court. It doesn't ruin the game, but anyone who wants to get truly good at this will need to spend some time with it, and come to the realisation that in this game, speed doesn't count for much, in fact not as much as it perhaps should. The sound is also suitable but nothing breathtaking. The menus are filled with stereotypical hip-hop inspired beats, and while the in-game audio is limited, the quality is excellent. Rick Orlando handles the play-by-play commentary in-game, and whilst it's a nice addition to have commentary, his delivery can be a little bland and flat, but it doesn't really add to the overall presentation. The effects though are perfect, and aside from the squeaks of shoes and ball sounds, the crowd is dynamic and it reacts in real time to the on-court action. This is nothing groundbreaking, but when combined with the solid look of the game, it's nice to see that Nintendo's high standards are all over this game, even if it was handled by a third-party studio. To really enjoy this game though, you do need to play it with your friends. The single-player season mode is solid, and yet when you have 3 friends to play it with, the game really comes to life. You'll just need to all be of the same standard to get the most balanced matches. Like most sports simulation games, you really need to enjoy the sport to get anything from this game. It reflects the sport accurately and does it with great visuals, solid audio and a well-balanced gameplay mechanic. So for today's topic of conversation, I want to know what you think is the best basketball game on the console. Do you prefer the arcade style antics of NBA Hangtime, or do you prefer the more serious NBA Courtside or In the Zone series? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below, and until next time.